Baby, you know I'm not good at advice. Why would I go if I don't get advice? Taking these chances, rolling the dice. Started from nothing, I'm hitting these heights. Why? Because what I be spit on these bikes. Read a few things inside of my Sprite. Better to sleep, you in my device. Thought I could trust you with my life. Can't even trust you in the night. Talk to me, baby.
Hello everybody, and welcome to another MX Bikes video. And today, guys, this is a big day. All right, we have a bit of a surprise. All right, now unfortunately this happened on a day I was super busy, so you guys are getting this a day later, but we just got beta 20 here in MX Bikes. All right, now Poboso's been kind of on a streak where he's released one beta per year. Obviously the updates from him have been very slow, but this update is actually quite major for a few reasons, and we're going to talk about that in this video. Now I don't have any hard specifics on exactly what was changed. There's going to be a decent amount of theorizing in this video, but I do want to start with the things we know were changed. All right, he gave us a change log. It's fairly general. That's kind of the issue, is we don't know the actual intricacies of it, but we're going to theorize a bit, talk about the details, and talk about the huge physics change that I'm feeling right now, guys. This is going to change the game. All right, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and let's get right into the video, boys. All right, we're gonna get right into it. Guys, we got a new stock track. All right, MXB test track. I was in a little bit of disbelief when I saw this, because I don't remember the last time a new stock track was added to this game. It was definitely before my time. So, you know, 2021, 2020, I don't even think he added one then. It might have all the way been back in 2018 when Nevada 2018 was dropped. I have no idea. It's been a long time, so I think a lot of people probably be excited about this. Me personally, I don't really care. I mean, listen, stock tracks are stock tracks. There's probably gonna be a couple of videos I make on here just trolling absolute little Timothys, but it's something. I mean, we got a supercross track, we got a bit of a motocross track over here, there's some nice ruts. I actually think it's pretty good. I feel like Poboso, you know, I feel like he snapped a little bit on this one. All right, I feel like he went a little bit crazy. I gotta give Pobobo a little bit of a pat on the back. All right, this is a W. Now, all the other changes I'm gonna put on the screen right now, I'm not gonna go over just because I think they're insignificant to the game, at least to our community. Maybe Poboso thinks they're significant, or maybe they are significant to some of you guys. I don't know. I looked at these and I'm like, this is not worth me talking about. But it's just normal update stuff, right? Normal fixes, just stuff that I don't think is super important, but I did want to show you guys this just so you guys are aware of it. I wish I knew this update was coming out before it did. Poboso did not tell me. I don't think he told anyone. I think everyone was caught by surprise when this update came out. All right, which is kind of sad. All right, why is Poboso not telling his community when he's gonna update the game? I have no idea, but anyway, these are all kind of the little fixes. This is the stock track. We're gonna get off this now. We're gonna get to a more important matters, and that is the physics side, because boys, things are a little bit different now. All right, so I've been in testing for the last couple hours, just running laps, trying to understand what I'm feeling. All right, because I had a friend text me before I got on saying that he felt there was more traction. All right, he's like, the OEM tires, dude, they're fixed, we got more traction. And I'm like, what? Because, you know, obviously when I read the change log, I'm like, there's nothing in there that says there's more traction. But anyway, I'm gonna show you guys the rest of the change log. All right, so we have updated rider animations, we have small rider physics tweaks. That's what he's calling it, which I think is really interesting. Anytime you see physics in a change log in an MX Bikes update, you have to pay attention, because that is a big deal. We do not see just physics tweaks ever, right? Like that, it's a really big deal. So that's really interesting. We also have a small sit/stand delay. Now he does say small for both the sit and stand delay and then also the rider physics section, which I think is interesting. Now, just because it's a small tweak does not mean that it's not going to change the way the game is played. And I'm very confident it has changed it in kind of a major way, at least from what I've been feeling. Now, it could be somewhat placebo. I don't know. Lynn's uploaded a video earlier today. He didn't talk about this at all. So I don't know if he didn't know or he just wasn't feeling much of a difference, but like, I felt a difference immediately. Like, I want to get into it right now. I want to first talk about exactly what was changed, or at least what I think was exactly changed with some of this stuff though individually. First, I want to start with rider animations. So you're gonna kind of see with how I'm riding in third person the change. The rider's in much more of an attack position. He's much more lower to the bike is what I'm noticing, but he's really just leaning forward. And when you lean forward, you can even see the rider's shadow there. I mean, I'm leaning so far forward. Also, what happened right there in that corner was actually really interesting, that crash. We're going to talk about that in a second. But anyway, that's basically the animation change. The rider's in like a Chase Sexton, Jet Lawrence, stand up, lean way forward, attack position. Like this is me without, you know, adjusting the rider weight at all. It looks kind of similar to what it was, but when you hit the ground, like it's really different. It's like on the ground, he's like really hunched over, got the elbows out, right? AJ Catanzaro. And then when you're in the air, it almost looks like it did before the update. We also have a change to where when you're standing around a corner, your leg's not like just jumping out every time you hit a bump. That kind of happened a lot on sand tracks with like rollers in a corner. Your leg would just kind of pop out when you were standing. That's obviously not realistic at all. You don't really put your leg out much when you're standing on a dirt bike because you need strength, obviously, to stand up. This is MX bikes, though. Your rider does have infinite strength, and you can absolutely rail rut standing up, just like I just did there. But anyway, that is the animation change. Now I want to talk about the sit and stand delay, because this is actually a very big deal. Even though he says this is a small tweak, I promise you, you're gonna hop on this game and you're gonna struggle, especially probably in Supercross, because sitting and standing is a lot more important. Motocross a little different because you're trying to stand most of the time, so even if you sit a little bit late, it's not a big deal. But you guys can see on my controller cam in the bottom left, when I hold down circle, that is when I'm supposed to be sitting. So while I'm standing, I'm gonna sit right as I get into this corner. You can see there's a little bit of a delay. See how slow he makes the adjustment? So standing, sitting, standing, sitting. It's slower, all right? Now, before, you could basically spam it, all right? You could spam sit and stand, and it would literally work. I mean, it was working very fast, but now, this doesn't feel like a small change to me. Maybe it is on the physics side. Obviously, we're just looking at an animation. You don't actually know exactly how it's working on the physics side. Maybe the sit and stand indicator would be a good way to see that. I don't run the sit and stand indicator. You guys could test that yourself. My guess is that it'd probably be delayed now. So when you click sit, it would like flash off like later, or I don't know. Maybe you could actually calculate how much he did delay it, which I hope he clarifies in new patch notes soon, because I want to know the intricacies of this stuff. I don't want to just know that small sit stand delay. Like, I want to know how much time you added. Like, what actually is the delay? Because I think that'd be interesting. But listen, for a lot of us guys who've been playing this game for a long time, this is going to adjust the way we play the game. Our whole muscle memory is going to have to be changed, especially for Supercross. But I mean, Supercross season, you know, it's not around anymore. We're into motocross, so I don't think it's going to be as big of a deal, because I think standing is honestly the most beneficial. But that is a big change, and it's going to change the way the game feels. Now we're going to start to talk about something that is quite mysterious, and I think it's the biggest change we've seen in a major update in a few years. All right, guys, now we are going to get into the most important part of this update, bar none. That is the small rider physics tweaks. All right, that is what Poboso calls it, which, again, he uses the word small. And I want to, again, say, a small tweak in this game can turn out to be a big one. Now, when you get on this game and you see this change log, it might be easy to not think the game's going to play any different, right? You just, I got new animations. You don't even really think about the physics thing. You're like, whatever. I genuinely think that is the line that is making this game feel different, and I think it's why there's more traction. Now, I'm going to get into why I think that is in detail. This is just a theory, though. It is not a fact, all right? Maybe it will be a fact soon if Poboso actually tells us what the hell he changed, but this is my theory. So with the animation change, which again does not relate to physics, animations and physics are two completely different things. Just because the rider animation's leaning farther forward does not mean that the rider's center of mass was also moving forward with the rider. Like, he could have left the center of mass to do the exact same thing as it did before, but then he changed the animation. Now, what I think happened was he changed both, all right? So he changed the animation, but then also aligned it with the physics of the rider. Therefore, the center of the mass is following exactly where the rider is leaning, which would make sense. But that would also mean, since the rider is leaning more forward on the bike, that the center of mass would also be more forward on the bike. Now, in my opinion, that would also explain why it feels like there's more traction, because if you guys have been playing on these OEM bikes, you know that when you lean forward, you get more traction. That's the meta. Stand up and lean forward. So if there's more traction, then that would mean we're leaning even more forward, right? Like, that's my theory, all right? Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe I'm stupid. Maybe it's all placebo. Maybe I am on cocaine. But if you guys remember, I front tucked in that corner earlier in this video. Now, when was an update where we had amazing traction? Well, I shouldn't say amazing. We had infinite traction and we front tucked all the time. Oh, I know. Beta 18. Why did we front tuck all the time? Because we had infinite traction. So if we just unlocked more traction because we're leaning more forward on the bike, that would just make sense, I would think. I mean, let me know in the comments what you guys think. I genuinely don't think I'm experiencing placebo right now. I don't think so. It would be really weird if I was, all right? And he literally says in there, there was a physics tweak with the rider. I feel like that would make sense of it. Now, we don't know for sure. I'm still waiting for the clarification from Poboso, which hopefully he does clarify. I think Poboso, he put some stuff in this update where I feel like he kind of showed how out of touch he is from the community. I mean, again, releasing a stock track in 2025, releasing an MSM tires update, which again, no one uses those bikes. I feel like that's kind of out of touch from him. I'm gonna be honest. I also think the sit and stand delay thing's a bit out of touch. Who wanted that? I can understand an animation change. I do think the animations in this game could obviously be improved a lot. I don't really expect them to be improved. I feel like there's a bigger issues at hand in MX bikes, but I don't know. I feel like the sit and stand delay thing is gonna piss people off, and maybe this whole rider weight thing's gonna piss people off too. If that was what was changed, again, we don't know. Animations, physics, completely different. Maybe he didn't align the physics with the animations, but I believe that's what he did. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. Kind of a short video, just kind of want to go through things, theorize what the change is, but genuinely, I do feel a change. The rider sit stand delay is something that we're all gonna have to get used to. That's gonna kind of suck, especially when it comes to like scrubs and stuff. You're gonna have to sit down a lot earlier, but I don't know. Maybe we'll get used to that pretty quickly. Is the updated W, is it an L? Let me know in the comments. I feel like this game got a lot easier, so a lot of you are probably gonna say it's a W. But I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. Am I right about my theory? I don't know. See you guys next video. Peace.